Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 4, Episode 2 of Refresh Our Memory, February 10th, 2022. I thank God for waking me up. My day is busy with daily life routines, but by the time my day was over, I'm ready for bed. February 11th, 2022. I heard the door open and close as Madison left for work. I think of what the day means. 2/11/1996, my daddy passed away. Rest in peace. We love and miss you. 10:22 a.m., my brother John called. We talked for a while. I asked him, "What are you doing today?" John said, "I'm talking to God. You will hear something soon." I said, "I know. I always hear that or think that, but nothing seems to happen." John said, "You will hear something." I said, "God, I hope you're right. I hope something happens soon." John said, "It will." We talked a little longer and then let each other go. Later this evening, Madison is visiting with her friends, and when they left, her and I both were ready to say good night. February 12th, 2022. This morning when I woke up, I thought of Madison's friend that went to heaven way too soon, way too young. We will miss him and always love him. I said to God, "Thank you for this day and every day. Watch over us all and protect us from evil." February 13th, 2022. Madison and I have a gender reveal party today. We arrived at 1:26 p.m. We had a good time. It was a lot of fun. And after the party, Madison and I was going to the cemetery after we went to the house to change cars. 3:33 p.m. I pull into the cemetery. I look over at Megan's area as I always do. Everything looks all right from a distance. Madison and I put a red rose balloon and a red rose flower on Wyatt's headstone. I laid a Tootsie Roll candy on his headstone also. We stood with him for a few more minutes and talked to him, prayed to him, and I pray too someone hears my prayer. I pull around to visit Megan. Madison stuck her red rose and her red rose balloon in the ground where we laid Megan to rest, west of the south tree. I laid her Tootsie Roll candy down by her flower and balloon. I took pictures of her from different locations. I do every time we are here. When we were done at Megan's area, Madison took the balloons out of the car and we set off a balloon for Wyatt and Megan and Madison's friend. Leaving the area, I saw on the clock 4:04 p.m. Megan's birth date. I took it as a sign. When we got home, I'm happy to be here. 5:12 p.m. Patty called. We talked for about an hour or a little longer. It's a good conversation, just catching up. I said, "I sent the news reporter the message again on Thursday. I just hope he didn't get in trouble for reaching out to his sister station here." Patty said, "Maybe he's sick." I said, "I hope not. I hope he's all right. But I had thought the same thing, and I pray he is well." When Patty and I hung up, I did a little more cleaning and organizing, and when Madison got home, we said good night. February 14th, 2022. A good morning. It's Valentine's Day. I wish all love and happiness. I cleaned up some this morning. and at 12:30 p.m., Patty sent a message. She wrote, "Do you want me to call the reporter? If so, forward me the number. I seem to have lost or misplaced his information." 12:31 p.m., I wrote back, "I will forward you his number in a few minutes. Yes, if you want to try to call again, yes, please do so. Make sure he's all right and his job isn't in jeopardy." 12:50 p.m., I sent Patty his information. I sent the front desk phone number, the newsroom phone number, and at 2:05 p.m., Patty wrote, "All right, I left a message. I told him you were my best friend in life and that he helped me with the case, and I truly feel he could help you also, Em. I also said to him, we both understand the criteria, yet the sister station did nothing at all. And I kind of begged for more advice and help, to point us in any direction, and pray with fingers crossed, down on your knees prayers, that he calls me. I have already tried earlier when I mentioned, but this time I sort of pleaded with him. I love you, Em. We will figure this out. I did not abandon you. Just know that." 2:07 p.m., I wrote, "I know, and thank you for that. I will pray. I will talk to God for the reporter to call you. And thank you so much, Patty." Patty wrote, "Yes, Em. I haven't heard anything yet, not even from him, but my heart breaks because no one helps you." February 15th, 2022. I'm feeling anxious as what needs to be done. I keep praying. I keep asking, and I get nothing. No feelings, no signs, no intuition feelings, nothing. What do I do? I did comment yesterday to Madison that I wonder why they, the city, hasn't leveled out the pile of dirt in Megan's area where they buried someone. Usually they level it out the same day or the next day, as we have seen. Madison said, "Yeah, I thought the same thing." And in the back of my mind, I have to wonder, is someone investigating this? February 16th, 2022. Happy birthday, Wyatt, my angel boy. I wonder at times what you would be like, and I know your sister likes to keep your memory alive. There's not a day that don't go by we don't think about you and Megan. We love you, Wyatt. We love you, Megan. And gosh, I wish this could be the day. It would be perfect. Let this be the day. Later today, and when we were done running errands, Madison and I went to the cemetery. 5:22 p.m., I pull into the cemetery, and of course I start singing happy birthday to Wyatt. He would have been 15 today. We visit with him for a while, and as I did, I keep asking the same prayer. I ask the same question. Someone please hear me. 5:31 p.m., I pull around to visit Megan. I pray and ask her the same question. I just need some kind of acknowledgement. After Madison and I were done, I pulled around to the street between Megan and Wyatt. We let off the balloons for Wyatt's birthday, one for Megan, as we do every year for each one. We also let one off for Madison's friend. And when we left the cemetery, I was glad to be home. And sitting here now, thinking and feeling the way I do about all of this, it tears me apart. It tears me apart, excuse me. It raises my anxiety. I feel so bad. I have a heavy heart that no one wants to help. I know the truth. Several of us knows the truth. I have the proof. Why is that not enough? 8:24 p.m. this evening, I talked with Carla for a little while. Carla is my great niece. Carla asked, "Have you heard from the news reporter?" I said, "I sent him a message in mid-January. I have not heard back from him, and I have to wonder why." Carla said, "I hope he's all right and he's not in any trouble of any sort." I said, "Oh, I know. It could only be one of three things. He's been sick, he's been on vacation, or he's in trouble for reaching out to the sister station here." Carla said, "Right." I said, "Patty called me Monday and asked if I wanted her to try to call him again. She said she did and told him who she was and her number. Then she said I'm calling for Emily and she needs someone to hear her story. And we understand the consequences of you not being able to not go out of jurisdiction, but the sister station hasn't reached out either." I told Carla Patty then said, "Pray he calls her back." And I have been. Carla and I then talked about other things, and it's getting late, so we let each other go. And bless us through the night to hear from someone soon. February 17th, 2022. I'm trying to stay steady. I'm trying hard to stay positive. Bless me to be strong. February 18th, 2022. It feels like it's going to be one of those days. My heart is heavy. I hate not knowing anything to do. I ask, I get no premonition, not like before. No feeling of what to do, not like before. No, nothing. I pray someone is working on it and I just don't know it. Is that even possible? Is it logical? And gosh, at times it's hard to comprehend. No one cares enough to help. What is wrong? What is it that the city is telling people about? I do know for a fact they are not being truthful and making me out to be crazy. But to me, the crazy ones are the ones that don't want to fix it. That's crazy. I have not heard from the reporter, and most likely I won't. I know too, though, that I will work on a letter to each news stations and to a few talk shows. I need to keep reaching out, and I'm going to. I have to keep moving forward. Show me what to do, angels. 2:58 p.m. I am writing the email addresses on another sheet of paper so we can read them without any mistakes when we send them. Again, wish me luck. February 19th, 2022. Wow, what a day. All I can say is you can only feel so much. My stress level, my anger level, my disappointment level. I am all over the place, and yet again, due to others. As the day moves on, it did get a little better, but this heavy heart, I carry it everywhere. God be with me. February 20th, 2022. Last night I had a thought to myself about the morning I had yesterday. I thought to myself, I'm going to work on this and I will finish it for Megan, for God, and for all the angels. I will get this done. This morning, waking up early, 6:32 a.m., and then I fell back asleep. And when I woke up, I'm talking to God. I talked with my angels, and I have a premonition. And I heard a little voice say, "Send the emails." And this is not crazy talk. I curled up in bed as a tear ran down my cheek and across my nose and fell onto the pillow. I thought to myself, I will. I will get the email sent. And now I'm crying and praying. I got up and ate breakfast, and I'm trying hard to stay positive in my thinking and have faith in God that God is here for me. 1:16 p.m., Madison and I went to the cemetery. She pulled up to Wyatt's area to get back in the car to go home. Madison told Wyatt, "We will be back." On the way home, I receive a message from Carla. It said, "I want you to know I love you and appreciate you," with a red heart. And I start to cry and thought, I love when I get these kind of messages. I waited a few minutes to respond, and I wrote back, "I love and appreciate you too, and thank you for that." 1:36 p.m., Madison and I arrive home. We will go back to the cemetery when we are done at the house. And while at home, I called Carla. We talked of why she was calling. Then we talked of the cemetery and about the premonition feeling and the little voice I heard this morning telling me to send the emails. And Carla knows I haven't had a gut feeling, premonition, or anything in a long time. So I know I have to follow what I heard to do. Carla said, "Yes, you have to. You can't give up. There is the right one, and you may send it to that right one." I said, "Yes, it could be. And if it's not yet that right person, the right one may come along soon." Carla agreed. You have to exhaust all avenues. And I agreed. She said, "Yes." I said, "And if this exhausts and nothing is done, I will begin again from the beginning." Carla said, "Yes." We talked a little longer and then said goodbye. At 4:19 p.m., we left to go back to the cemetery. I drove past Megan's area from the east side of the cemetery, and I could see that Megan's rose balloon and red rose was still stuck in the ground. I pulled up to Wyatt. We got out of the car and walked over to him to put his springtime flowers in his vase. Madison stuck his blue tulip wind spinner in the ground, and we took Wyatt's red rose balloon and red rose. Madison's afraid they will blow away. And we took pictures. I stood with him for a little bit, and I prayed to him. We then left, and I drove around to see Megan. I pull up, and as we gather the flowers in order for Megan's flowers to be stuck in the ground, I took the extra flowers and stuck them on the other babies' headstones. We stood to visit Megan, and I prayed to her. I took pictures of the full area. I got in the car and looked over at her as I always do. I pulled away and out of the cemetery. When we arrive home, we finish cleaning, and as the evening is ending, I'm ready for bed. I'm anxious for tomorrow. I want to get started on the emails. Have a good night, and I pray tomorrow will be the day. February 21st, 2022. Okay, waking up this morning, I start thinking about how to start the email. I will write one and send it to all. I'm stumped, though, as how to write the letter, the message. 11:18 a.m., I sent Patty a message. I wrote, "I hope all is well for you. I'm trying to start a letter to the news stations to tell the story. Any suggestions? I haven't had any premonitions or feelings of what to do next until now. Well, yesterday, I got a gut feeling and I heard a soft little voice say, 'Send the emails.' And the only emails I were to send was to the news stations on the outside of Oklahoma. So I'm trying to get or figure out how to start the email message. and I hadn't heard from you, so I knew you haven't heard from the reporter. 12:53 p.m. Patty wrote, "No, Em, nothing at all from him. Sadly, though, when journalists don't have stories, they are sort of discarded, laid off, or furloughed. This seems or could be the case. You can bet I ain't stopping there. I will call you soon." 1:51 p.m. I replied, "Prayers are sent. Definitely. Yes, call when you can. And I like that. You can bet I ain't stopping there. Thank you for that. And I'm going to stay optimistic. I'm going to wait for that instinct feeling to sit down to write this letter or letters. I'm going to pay attention to my feelings." And at 3:02 p.m., I sat down with paper and pen. I need to get a start on that letter written to the news stations. I start writing. At 3:31 p.m., I finished. I wrote the important dates, the important events, in hopes to get to tell more of the story. And in my mind, I will keep on until someone listens. Later this evening and after dinner, I will rewrite, or I may type it, so then I could fill in the information where it's needed. Patty is supposed to get back with me, but I can't wait for her. I will move on and do the best I can. I pray, let the email, let my letters, let my word get to the right person. February 22nd, 2022. Today we are preparing for a storm to move in on us tonight and through until Thursday. 1:11 p.m. I rewrote the 4-page letter or email I wrote. 1:54 p.m. I finished. I feel good about it, but I still believe 4 pages is way too long. But I have to tell the whole story. 3:23 p.m. I checked the mail. I was like, wow. A letter I wrote to the senators and governors back in 2020 returned back to me. I was a little shaken by it because it has been a year and 5 months later being returned. It was slit open at the bottom of the envelope. It was dark looking. It had a stamp on the front and a stamp on the back. It has 2 stamps in red ink on the front. It said, "Return to sender." Talk about freaking me out. And my thought went to, why did it take so long to return to me? I took a picture of the returned letter, front and back. The rest of the evening, I just didn't know what to think. I know how I feel, nervy, mixed emotions. Wondered how much of an investigation they did on me and not on it, the letter. Still not bad for all the letters I wrote and sent out. I haven't had too many come back, and thank God for that. As I think about it too, for the date to receive this back on 2/22/22. 222 means not to give up, and I'm not. February 23rd, 2022. We are stuck inside because of the storm that moved in. Madison did make it to work, but she made it in time before the roads got bad. She had to take her time to get home, but she did make it home safely. We stayed in the next 2 days. February 24th, 2022. I feel so empty this morning. I can't seem to get anything done because of the storms. Our internet service is out, so I haven't been able to type, but I will write it on paper until I can. 10:29 a.m. My brother John called. We talked for about 20 minutes, but while we talked, John told me, don't quit on this. Someone will come to you. We talked a little longer, then hung up. 2:27 p.m. Carla called. I missed her call, so I sent her a message to let her know I will call her back as soon as I can. And when I was done, I called Carla back. We talked for over 2 hours. We talked about everything. We talked about the cemetery and what I needed to do, but I couldn't because of the internet service. Carla said, it's frustrating, huh? I said, yes, it is, very much so, with tears in my eyes. Carla said, you haven't given up, though. You keep on going. I said, I have to. I can't let them get away with this. If I do and it happens again, how could I live with myself? How do I move on? How do I do this to Megan? Carla said, you could move on, but it will take time. And you're right. They need to own up to it. I said, yes, they do. Carla is quiet, and I'm talking. I was really rattling on. I'm talking, and Carla is listening. We talked about 40 more minutes, and I did tell Carla, I'm not giving up on this. I have to be all those people's voices. I have to get with the news stations and see what they would do. And if I come to a dead end there, I will start again, start from the beginning and present it another way. And Carla agreed. She said, I'm here for you if you need help. So hopefully soon we can get this done. And thank you, Carla, for listening. February 25th, 2022. Finally, I'm able to get out of the house. Not cabin fever, but another day or two it would be. Not funny. It was a good day, but I did not get any emails sent this week. Well, also because of the internet service. I took it as maybe I'm not supposed to send them at this time. February 26, 2022. First thing this morning, we had errands to run. At 11:50 a.m., I pull into the cemetery. It's still icy, but I made it through. Wyatt's flower and windmill were all right. We sat with him for a little while. I then drove around to visit Megan. Megan's flowers and windmill were here, even through all the ice. And thank God. I took pictures of her area, and I had to let a car pass to be able to take more pictures. When it passed, Madison noticed the fence rolled up in different areas on the west side of the cemetery, like they are taking it down. And it looked to me like they are expanding the cemetery out instead of back. I don't know, but I'm not stopping, letting anyone and everyone know what they do and they are doing. Sorry, but not sorry. You disrespected my granddaughter. When I was done taking a few pictures, we sat with Megan. I prayed to her and I talked with her. After we left the cemetery and I drove home, 3:20 p.m., my brother John called. And wow, we were on the phone for hours. We talked about everything. He even encouraged me to hang on for the cemetery. I always tell him, I hope so, and I hope sooner than later. John said, it will be. Someone will be there. I told John, I'm believing that I'm where I am by the grace of God. I said I was going to send emails this week, and the storm came through and our internet service went out, and I wasn't able to send them. John said, really? He said, hey. And before he could say any more, I said, hold on, let me tell you this. I said, I received a letter back from a senator that I wrote back in August of 2020. John said, what? No way. I said, yeah. I received it on Tuesday, 2/22/22, after all that time. I told John about what the envelope looked like. He said, no way. You will hear from someone. I said, well, I hope so. And I know I keep saying that, but I really do need someone to be my friend and me be their friend. Someone to listen to the story and take a look at the pictures. Someone to see the proof. John said, someone will. We hung up not long after. And thank you, Brother John, for listening. Now, let me share another piece of refresh our memory information. When this flood happened on May 7th, 2015, yes, I did realize over time it's an act of Mother Nature. But how did we get from an act of Mother Nature to them dumping the water out of a casket onto the ground that they dug up under my granddaughter's headstone? A casket that doesn't compare to the one we buried her to rest in. And where did the trench auger lines come from? 4 days before they are to dig Megan's headstone up. The proof is in the pictures. No lines before November 22nd, 2019. How is any of this right? And now I'd like to refresh your memory of the apps our podcast is found on, and our email addresses and a phone number you may call. The apps are Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, Podcast Index Audible, Listen Notes, RSS.com Community, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, and we also greatly appreciate availability to a new app, publicrss.com, and now we are on YouTube also. You may email us at lowercase letters Emily McMahon, EMILYMCMAHAN 208 @gmail.com, and or SD McMahon 1959 @gmail.com. Or you may call and leave a message at 220-215-5130. Thank you for listening, and stay kind with your words.